Hello everyone. So in this session we are going to develop a MapReduce application for the word count program. We have discussed about what is the word count and how it is working, the workflow, complete workflow we discussed about that. Now we have to implement the mapper and reducer classes and also the driver classes. In the previous session we discussed about the steps. First step is we have to define the mapper class with map method. Second step, we have to define the reducer class with reduce method, and the third step we have to define the driver program. So let us see how to develop these programs. I'm going to explain the programs here. Now as we discussed here, import java.io.io exception, this is common, and import org.apache.hadoop.io.star for data types. All the data types are available here, and import org.apache.hadoop.mapreduce.mapper. If you observe this here, MapReduce, in the MapReduce package, please zoom it here from here. So the MapReduce package, inside that there is a mapper class available, so we are importing that in this program. And now we are creating a mapper class here, public class word count mapper. Word count mapper extends mapper of. Now we have to mention the input key type. If you remember the application, MapReduce application, that is the word count example program, what is the input key value pair for the mapper? That is 0 comma the entire line is the input. So if you observe that 0 means it is the integer. So how can we mention the integer in the Hadoop? That is by using long writable or int writable. You can use either long writable or int writable. I am taking the long writable, and then next is the value. This is the key, and the value, this is key, input key, and this is the input value. Input value is the entire line. The entire line is the input value. So the text, it is the text. Text is also a data type for handling the strings for the Hadoop. And then what is the output? The output is HDFS, 1, distributed, 1. Like this, all these are the, first is the word and then number. So because of that reason, the output key is the text, the output value is the long writable because it is integer. So I am taking that. So word count mapper extends mapper of this, and then now I have to define the map method. So we are starting the class, and in this public void map of, here we have to mention 3 parameters in the mapper. If you recollect the previous session, there are 3 parameters for the map. First is the key, second is the value, third is the context. So first one, long writable, because the input is the offset of the line, so long writable key, and text, it is the entire line, text value, it is in the text format, okay, and then context, and throws IO exception and interrupted exception, that is to handle the exceptions. And here inside that map method we have to handle this, entire line. How to handle this entire line? It is in the text format, but we have to convert that into the primitive data type, Java primitive data types. So that is called we have to convert that into string, then you can manipulate it. In the text format you cannot manipulate, so we have to convert that text into string. So to convert that text into string, it is available in the value. So value dot to string off, and then split that line by taking the space as the delimiter. So by taking the space as a delimiter, meaning that the words will be separated and it will be given as the array of strings. So I am taking that into the words array. String words of equal to value dot to string dot split off. So it will be divided into words and all those words are available here. The example is we are having the HDFS is a distributed file system. This is the first line and this will be given into the value and that is converted into the number of strings. The number of strings, that is HDFS and then is and then A and distributed and so on. So all this is taken as the array. So that is in the words of equal to, that is words. So meaning that this is at the 0th location, this is in the first location, second, third and so on. So one by one we have to take the values, one by one we have to take these locations and we have to produce, we have to handle each word. So for that, for I equal to 0, I less than words dot length. Words dot length means how many number of values are there, how many number of words are there, those many number of words it is taking, and then plus I plus plus, and what we have to write, we have to take the HDFS first value, HDFS and 1, is and 1, A 1, distributed 1, like that we have to write a simple thing here. So context dot write of text of words of I. What is the words of I? I is from 0 to last word. So I is 0, meaning that first word will be taken. So HDFS of 0 will be HDFS will be taken. That HDFS will be converted into text again. Why should we convert into text again? Because we have to give it back to the HDFS, because the intermediate output should be also in the Hadoop format. So because of that reason, the string is converted as the text and then we have to give that as 1. The value is 1, key is HDFS, value is 1. We cannot give that directly 1. So that should be converted into long writable, because the output of the mapper is the text and long writable. So we have to convert those two. For each and every word we are doing this. For every time we are writing that to context. So this is the way of implementation of the map method in the mapper class. So this should be written, this should be stored in the mapper, word count mapper, whatever the class name is given, word count mapper dot java. You have to save this in the word count mapper dot java. After that we have to write the reducer class, reducer. So we have to go for the reducer. So the reducer is also available, I am showing that. So this is the reducer class. Now reducer. Already the mapper is available, mapper is completed. Now the reduce has to be started. The reduce will be called once per key. How many keys are there? HDFS is there, is, A, distributed, file, system. For every key, once the reduce method will be called. So what it will have is, see here, how to define this. First, import java dot same, the same thing we have to provide, and then, so the same thing we have to provide, and then import voyage.apache.hadoop.io.star, and then same mapreduce.reducer, you have to give the reducer here. Previously we have given mapper, here you have to give the reducer. And then word count reducer extends reducer of text long writable, because the input is HDFS comma 1, is comma 1, distributed comma 1, like that the output is like this, the input is like that. So because of that reason, the input key is the text, input value is the long writable, and output, what we have to write the output? We have to write HDFS 2 times repeated, is 1 time repeated, the 1 time repeated. Like this you have to give the word and then value, so that the text and long writable. Because of that reason the output is text and long writable. Now we are defining the reduce method. The reduce method, please remember that the reduce method will be called once per key. So what is the key here? The key format will be like this. The key is HDFS comma list of 1 1 1 and so on. It may be 1 1 1. This is the this is the input for the reduce. So what we have to do, we have to add all these. So here this is the text and this is the list of or array of or iterable of the values. Now what we are taking is, for the reduce, for this we have to write, we have to handle this. This will be called number of times. So input key, text is the key, okay, and then iterable, long writable, but it is not a single value, it is the multiple values. Because of that reason we have to take the iterable, meaning that it may be, it is another collection. So iterable, that is the value. So in the value we have number of values. And then context, as usual, context, throws IO exception and interrupted exception. And then I want to calculate the sum of these values. So sum, long sum equal to 0, I am initializing that. For long writable, L colon value, meaning that the value, whatever the value, this is value, this becomes inside the value. First, in the first iteration, 1 will be in the L, the 1 will be in the L, and sum equal to sum plus 1 L dot get, so that this will be added, 1 will be added, and the next iteration this one will be given, again 1 plus 1 will be added, and then 2, it becomes 2, next time another 1 will be given and it will be added, and so on. Now we have to write, finally you will get the word and the sum of these 3 values, that is HDFS comma 3. So here you will get key, we are writing that back to the context, that is key is HDFS and the value is 3, that is new long writable of sum is 3, so that is converting into the long writable and we are giving that. This method will be called for distributed comma 1 comma 1 comma 1 comma 1, this like this will be called again for that, so that distributed comma 3, distributed comma 4, like that it will be generated. So this is the writing of the reducer class. The reducer class can be stored, this should be stored in the word count reducer.java. So we will continue in the next session.